And we are live. Welcome everybody for this weekly live stream on the latest and greatest news in Ethereum and DeFi. For those who don't know me, I'm Julian and you are on my channel Eat the Blocks, where I teach blockchain development and how to find your first blockchain job. So before we continue, quick shout out to my two courses. So if you want to become a professional blockchain developer and make $100,000 per year, as I used to make, register for my course Six Figure Blockchain Developer. And if you want to learn how to make flash loan arbitrage, check out my other course on flash loan. And by the way, guys, say hi on the chat so I can see that I'm not talking alone and some people are following. So as usual, I'll do the talking first, and at the end, we'll do the Q&A session. Hi, Crypto Balrog. Hi, WS Journey. Hi, everybody. So, we'll get started with the prices of Ethereum. Hi, Eric in the chat. So, last week was kind of so-so for the price of Ether. Went down a little bit below the support of 400, and half of the week it was very so-so, and then finally we are back up above 400, and so like now we almost went up to 440, so we're back into high growth territory, so that's pretty cool. And I really show you that we have a strong support at 400, so far so good. Yeah, Ethereum is happy today. Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty cool. Next, as usual, I like to show you the situation on the transaction fees because that's super critical. So unfortunately, it was a bad week for transaction fee. I think at some point we saw something like 300 Gwei or something. We had like this crazy peak here. Yeah, 500 Gwei maybe. And the price of Ether is going up. So I think like now if you just want to send a very simple transaction on Ethereum, it costs you $20 or something like this. So obviously not good, but well, not good. That's for end user. Like immediately this is not good, but long term it means that there is really high demand for Ethereum. So it's not entirely bad, and we know this is just temporary. Layer 2 scaling solution are coming. Ethereum 2.0 will need to wait a little bit more. That's the situation. And talking about gas, actually, I find this cool project, gas.watch. So basically, it can email you when the gas price goes below a certain threshold. So, for example, 100, 150, you put your email, you put your target gas price, you click on watch, and if the market moves below this level, you receive an email, and if you have a transaction you want to make, boom, you do it right away. So it's a cool little project, and you see like that's typically the kind of project that you can make yourself. Like, look at it. This is not too complicated. This is a single page. You have like couple of buttons. You have to fill like input for the email, input for the gas price. It's probably probably the hard part will be the integration with an email service provider, for example, something on AWS. But you can probably make something more simple with a SendGrid, for example. And then you also need a connection to Infura to get the data from the blockchain. You show this here in a table. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a really good idea. All right, so that's it for gas. So next we're gonna continue with the market cap of DeFi. So finally we are back into growth mode. So last week the growth was a bit slow. It was just plus 300 million, but this week it was plus 1.3 billion. We're at 7.8 billion. So that's good news. And the leader for market cap is Aave, unchanged from last week. It's kind of funny how Aave made a comeback, because a couple of months ago Aave was well down in the ranking. I think it was number 10, and then super quickly it went to the top. I think what's interesting with Aave is they're developing really quickly, and they're very innovative. They are the one who introduced the idea of flash loan. More recently, they introduced the idea of delegated credit, where even if you don't have collateral, another address can vouch for you by letting you use their collateral. So really, I mean, that's it's not surprising to see Aave at number one here, and Curve Finance, of course, number three. It's well deserved. This is so popular, and Uniswap very close. So yeah, I mean, when I see here the ranking, I think it really makes sense, and probably Yearn Finance will go even higher. Um, all right, so that's it for the market cap of DeFi. So now a quick look at the rates. It's important to check out the rate because too many people they just check the market cap, they just check the price of different tokens, but it's also important to understand the rates because with these rates, what you can do is any asset you hold and you don't invest anywhere, you're wasting money. So you should at least try to lend them on compound or something. So here, for example, DAI is doing well on Aave 5.69, so that's pretty sweet. The rates on USDC are a bit less, so it kept fluctuating. Like some week DAI is doing better, some other week USDC is doing better. Also, it changes a lot across different projects. Sometimes DAI is doing better on Aave, another week this is on DYDX, so everything is very dynamic. Of course, it's a little bit difficult to reallocate every time in the best project because of the high gas fees, except if really you have a really high amount invested. But you need to do your calculation to try to determine when is the optimal what's the optimal rebalancing frequency. All right, so that's it for the rate. So now in terms of which token specifically did pretty well, so the governance of token of Yearn Finance has done pretty well. The governance token of Yuma, we don't talk a lot of the Yuma protocol, but the governance token was pretty insane. Synthetics also doing well. So more specifically, the governance token of Y Finance, as I say, Wi-Fi, it's pretty insane now. It's actually more than Bitcoin. I think in 1 week we had another week of crazy gain. So yeah, I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing how this can be so valuable. I mean, Yearn Finance is amazing, but just it seems really insane. What's the market cap of that? The market cap, 1 billion. Damn, like it's, I don't know. I think it's a little bit excessive, really. Then another really nice progression is Polkadot. So Polkadot, if you never heard about it, that's this inter-blockchain project allow you to connect different blockchain, for example Ethereum to Tron, etc. That's Polkadot was created by the co-founder of Ethereum, so we don't talk about him very much, but that guy originally wrote one of the first version of Ethereum and then decided to do his own project Polkadot. So here if you see the chart, yeah, it started the week, like it's close to 4, and now we're like on a day of crazy gain, almost at 628. So yeah, I mean, Polkadot is still very early. I don't think this is functional yet, but there is a lot of noise around Polkadot at the moment. I haven't talked a lot about Polkadot on my channel because most of the action is on Ethereum, but I think in the coming months, when it will be launched, it will become more important. All right, so next we're gonna move on to the news of specific DeFi project. So Uniswap, the most popular, I think they are number two or number one. Well, they in the top two on Ethereum in terms of decentralized exchange. So for the 1 day trading volume, for the first time, they went above Coinbase here at $426 million vs Coinbase only 348 million. So that is really insane. If you remember, I think that was 1 month or 2 months ago, there was this study of DappRadar that said that DEXs now represent something like 1% of the volume of centralized exchanges. And at that time, we thought that was a great progression because it was up from 0.5% a few months ago, but that was still tiny. And then a few weeks after that, it went to 5%. And now, today, we realized that the volume of Uniswap is above Coinbase. So things are moving really rapidly. I don't know when the total flippening will happen, when the total trading volume of decentralized exchange will be above the total trading volume of centralized exchange. I don't know when this will happen, but my guess is if you want to be conservative, probably at the beginning of next year, but it might be even sooner if we see how fast this is going. So this is not only the flippening happened not only in terms of trading volume, but also in terms of the transaction fees that were processed by Uniswap. So yeah, it's one more proof that DeFi is just absolutely exploding at the moment. This is a really, really good time to get in it. No. All right. So that's it for Uniswap. Next, I want to talk about this article which got really popular on Hacker News. If you never heard of Hacker News, that's a community very popular for developers. It's a little bit like Reddit, but for developers. And someone posted a link to this article, and it got really, really popular. So that's basically the story of how someone lost 12,000 USD on Uniswap because they did a bad manipulation. They sent their liquidity provider token to the smart contract of Uniswap. And long story short, a hacker was able to take advantage of a little bug in the smart contract of Uniswap and steal this money. Actually, if you want a full story, I've turned this article into a video. So that's my previous video on this channel, and that video got super popular. So I explained the story very, very simply. And I also explain you how front running works. So finally go watch that video on my channel. You can also read this article that was very, very interesting. So next, still talking about Uniswap. So they are introducing a new feature in their front end called token list. So the idea is that anybody can create token list at tokenlist.org, and after you can access this token list from their interface. And so this is a security measure because basically anybody can deploy a market on Uniswap and with a bullshit token. So someone can make like a sort of fake version of DAI. They create an ERC20 token, they call it DAI, and they deploy this market on Uniswap. Uniswap is permissionless, so there is no process of verification, stuff like that. And when you're trying to trade token on Uniswap, then you search for DAI, and in the result, you will find the market of the fake DAI, and you're not careful. You just click on confirm. You think you buy real DAI, but you buy some fake bullshit DAI. So one way to make sure that you don't get scammed like this is by searching in token list. So that's the new feature introduced by Uniswap. That's a little bit similar with the idea of token curated registry. That was an idea that was popular 1 year ago. Now we don't talk about them too much, but it's basically the same idea, token registry, but on the blockchain. Well, this is not an on-chain solution, but this is an easy. This is a good short-term fix, I think. So we'll see how this project evolves at tokenlist.org. All right. So next, we're going to move on to Aave. So Aave was granted a license in the UK. So that's called electronic money license. So the idea is that now they can provide some form of electronic money to retail investors. And so why they're doing this, Aave said that it will help them to onboard users. So far, one of the big problems in DeFi is that in order to onboard retail investors, we need centralized exchange so that they can retail investor can convert their fiat money into cryptocurrency. But Aave want to short circuit this centralized exchange and have users directly invest to their protocol, maybe using their credit card. So yeah, I mean, if they are successful in doing this, that can really set an example, and probably you'll see other DeFi protocol, maybe Uniswap or other, that start to do similar things, try to get some license for electronic money transfer, and they create their own on-ramp, and you will further fuel the adoption of crypto. And of course, all of this is very bearish for all these centralized exchange. I really hope they're making good money, because it's not going to last long. All right, so next news, the SEC, so that's the organization in the US that govern the sales of security. So the SEC said that they would change their definition of what is an accredited investor. So an accredited investor, that's an investor, that I think we have the definition here, with a net worth of 1 million or an income over $200,000. So that's just in the US, but you need to meet these requirements if you want to access certain deals. For example, private investment. If you want to invest in a startup, for example, there are run of private investment, but these opportunities are only open to these so-called accredited investors, and that's in order to protect retail investors. But that set a really high bar. There are many people who are excluded from that. So the SEC want to relax these rules. So that's very positive for crypto, because this problem of accredited investor, that's the reason why many ICOs were illegal back in the days in 2017, 2018. The SEC was really clear, said that you need to be an accredited investor. You need to restrict your ICO to accredited investor, and of course, it basically declared the end of ICOs. But now, if they change the definition and they make it more lax, then maybe we could see a form of comeback of ICO, maybe more toned down, maybe with less scam. But that's positive for crypto. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the news for developers. So my Ether wallet, so that's a that used to be a very popular wallet for Ethereum, and still popular, but just now there are more competitors. So my Ether wallet, they launched this new blockchain explorer that they call ETH So as you can see, the UX is pretty sexy. So that's one improvement over already existing blockchain explorer like Etherscan. And the other improvement is that this is open source. So if you wanted to host your own version of this, you can just check out the code on GitHub, download it, and make it run on your own server, and you buy a domain name, and basically you launch your own blockchain explorer, and that would be I mean, and after you can add some feature, customize it, and I'm pretty sure that if you were to do a website like this, it will get some traffic, and after you can do whatever you want with this traffic. You can sell advertisement, or you can sell your own product, or build an audience to do whatever you want. But I think it's pretty sweet that they made this open source. Next, so there was a release of this tool that is called Create ETH App. So if you never heard about this, that's a command line tool that allows you to very easily kickstart a project of decentralized application. If there are some of you who are familiar with React, so that's this famous framework for front end, that Create ETH App is very similar to Create React App in the philosophy. You use the CLI tool, and boom, it creates a sort of template for your decentralized application. And recently, they released this new feature where you can create decentralized application with a template for IPFS. So IPFS, this is this network where you can store anything in a decentralized way. So if you want to create your dApp project, you can check out this tool. Next, so it gets a little bit more technical now. So Ether.js, so that's a sort of alternative to Web3. So that's a JavaScript library you can use to connect to the Ethereum blockchain. So someone released this new package that allow you to create React hook. So it's basically a way to use ether.js in a React application really easily. So if you want to try this new library and you use React, and I mean pretty much everybody use React, then this library can help you to create your project faster. And another project, so that's a plugin for Buildler. So Buildler, this is an alternative to Truffle. So with Buildler, you can create your Solidity smart contract project. It's a little bit more modular than Truffle, and it's getting some traction. And they have a lot of plugins that offer extra functionality. And so a new plugin is an integration with Etherscan, where you can verify your smart contract. So if you don't know what does it mean to verify your smart contract, that's basically when you submit your smart contract to Etherscan to prove that the code at a certain address is what you claim it to be. So for example, if you say, okay, well, I deploy this smart contract at this address and I claim that the code is this. And then Etherscan is going to verify this. And if it finds that this is the same code, then it's going to show a badge on your smart contract on their Explorer that said verified. And so that's very important for Ethereum user, because now they can trust that your smart contract is real, you're not a scammer. The code that they see on Etherscan is actually what is on the blockchain. So if you're doing any sort of a serious project, you need to be verified. So before it was a very manual procedure, but now you can integrate it in Buildler, so that's very sweet. All right, guys. So now we're gonna switch to the Q&A session. So hi to the people. I don't say hi before. I didn't say hi to Victor, Yakos. All right. So let me see. Do we have any questions? So Crypto Balrog asked me, would love to get your view on the future of NFTs. Yeah, so NFT can have many use cases. So of course, for gaming, NFTs are going to be huge. For example, if any role game like World of Warcraft, where you buy a lot of items, people want to make sure that they keep their items so that they are able to resell them. In the past, there were many games where players were very disappointed, so they played, they spent years to build a character, and then all of a sudden the game creators decide to shut down the server, and so basically all the characters that took the time to build just disappear, and that's really not fair. So with NFT in the future, even the major games, they will integrate with blockchain, and when you buy a new item in the game, when you develop your character, the character is stored on the blockchain. So most of the game is still outside of the blockchain. This will not change because the blockchain is really bad to do things that require high performance. But just the part that says that you own such and such item or such character, this will be stored on the blockchain. And so if the game creator decides to shut down the server of the game, anybody could create their own fork, do another version of the game, and you still have the marketplace on the blockchain where you can resell all your items. So this will be a big thing. Currently, I think people don't realize what I'm saying, because the kind of games we see on blockchain, they are games that are developed just for the blockchain. And these games, of course, in terms of graphic gameplay, they are not as good because maybe people come from the blockchain space and try to go towards gamer. But what's going to be really powerful is when you have these big studios already are really good at making games, when they will move to blockchain. And this will happen sooner rather than later. This is for sure. Another use case for NFT is for artists. So artists who want to monetize what they do, and so they could sell some items, some collector items that represent something about what they do, and a lot of their fans could be interested in this NFT, and that's also a way to finance artists. So yeah, another possibility. But there are just so many possibilities for NFTs. I mean, I'm not even scratching the surface here. Okay, so Next, we have Victor Lee, who says Gavin Wood is well received in China. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Chinese people that are really super big on Polkadot. Would DeFi pick up there? How is the coding and dev support? Well, so the good thing is that Chinese people have access to GitHub. So you know that in China there are many websites that are blocked, like Facebook, Gmail, etc. You can't access them in China. But fortunately, at the moment, GitHub is still accessible. For how long? I don't know. So this is a very sensitive issue. Because right now, we have this big thing between China and the US. More and more things start to be blocked between the two. TikTok blocked in the US, in China, even more websites are blocked. Honestly, it's not impossible that in the next 5 or 6 months, GitHub start to be blocked in China. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. For example, China can ask that GitHub block a certain project that they don't like on GitHub, and GitHub will refuse, and then China will say, okay, well, bye-bye. And I know that they are developing their own version of GitHub. So as long as they have access to GitHub, I think Chinese can totally participate in DeFi, blockchain, Ethereum, etc. But if they lose that, it's going to be more tough. The DeFi interest was very strong for, what was this fork of Uniswap? Sorry, it's not a fork of Uniswap. For YAM, there was this fork of Yearn Finance. So a lot of Chinese were really big in this project. Yes, Yakov, salut de Belgique. Hey, salut Yakov. Yapaka, hey, I'm farming on Lost Relics right now. What's that, Lost Relics? Is it a game? Greg, bonjour de Minneapolis. Hey, Greg, bonjour. From your previous video, you mentioned about front-running risk for miners and quick pots. What solution available for us as Aave liquidator trader on DeFi? Yeah, very good question. So I haven't thought about this a lot, but I think you can try to learn from what I explained in my previous video, where you have like two smart contracts, one that is used to activate the other, so that you basically try to obfuscate the fact that a transaction will be profitable. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for this front runner to even detect that there is an arbitrage opportunity. Another thing I mentioned is you could insert require statement in your function where it only works with your address. Of course, if a human see this, he can figure out right away that all they have to do is deploy the same smart contract with a different condition in your require. But it's not a human that check the transaction pool. It's scripts. So the scripts are more dumb. So the script will try to run your smart contract with their address, and because of the require, it fails. And the script is not smart enough to figure out that, oh, okay, it's because I need to change something in the require statement. But what I'm saying needs more testing, because maybe there are some other tools that I don't know about that allow to do stuff even more sophisticated. Then Wapaka is asking, with collateralization of NFT, we'll have new open door. Imagine renting a sword for 1 hour to pass a dungeon. Interesting. Yeah, so maybe we'll see like a sort of I don't know, like DeFi for NFT items for gaming. It's totally possible. Magic asset rental. Yeah, it's a good idea. Ashwin, hi Ashwin. Huaming, hi Huaming. Jacob, hey Julian, what are you working on at the moment? So I'm working 100% on Ether blocks. I really have a lot of work. So beside these videos on YouTube, I'm also working on this new course on advanced solidity. And so I'm still deciding what I should include. So this is taking most of my time. Any other question, guys? Or did I reach the end of the question? Well, it seems like it. Yeah, this week we didn't have as much news as the last week. It was a little bit more calm in DeFi, but I mean, sometimes it's better that way, because usually, I mean, the previous weeks it was just so crazy. We had too much stuff. It's good to rest a little bit. Crypto Baroque music recommendation. Well, I'm lazy for that. Or usually I go on YouTube and I type jazz chill music, like basically anything without lyrics, so that I can focus. Like if there are lyrics, then like I can really focus on my coding. Yakov, I'm a big fan. Yeah. Is it the Aave statue behind? Yeah, no, this is like some ghost. Yeah, maybe. Hey, that's a good idea. Like someone should do like a crypto shop for all the DeFi project, like some with like T-shirt or like some stuff. Seriously, like it will work. Like that. Just so many ways to monetize this blockchain community. This is insane. Ashwin said a few years ago, I became very proficient in Solidity 0.4, but then moved to learning other things. What's the fastest way to get updated with the latest version of Solidity? All right, so so there was a lot of change between Solidity 0.4 and 0.5. So you can check out my series on my channel. I have a playlist on Solidity 0.5. A lot of people love it. And then of course on my course 6-figure blockchain developer, we use Solidity 0.6, which is almost the latest version. The latest version is 0.7 exactly. Oh yeah, so by the way, yeah, it's a quickly I put the link to my 2 courses. 6-figure blockchain developer, that's to become a blockchain developer, and the other one, profitable flash loan, is to learn arbitrage with flash loan. So Greg is asking Haskell above Solidity. We can't really compare them. They are totally different. Haskell, this is a language, a general language that you can use outside of the blockchain. Solidity, this is only in the blockchain. So I don't really think they will ever compete. Haskell, this is very used in academic circles, professor of mathematics or in computer science. They love Haskell. The sort of programming paradigm of Haskell is very special, very different from other programming language. This is what we call a functional language, but most people, they are used to what we call imperative language like JavaScript or PHP. So most developers, they will not feel comfortable with Haskell. Solidity, this is a very special language. In terms of syntax, this is close to JavaScript, but in terms of the rules, this is quite different because this is on the blockchain. So both of them are very weird language that have use case that totally don't overlap. Yeah. His French should listen to Daft Punk. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, I love Daft Punk. Yeah. Rizzo, what's that, Rizzo? It's some music? You gotta check that out. Thanks for another show, Crypto Baroque. Much appreciated. Yeah, thanks for the thanks. Yeah, alright. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up here. Yeah, thanks guys for following the show, and I'll see you soon for another video on my channel. Bye.